Peterborough Iron and Metal. And today he's going to explain to me how to use the hydraulic shear.
Okay, Brittany, today we're going to show you the shear and show you how it works and what we use it for here.
Perfect.
And first things first, I'll just show you some of these boxes, show you what we're separating. So you remember what that is, right?
Yes, this is copper.
Okay, so this would be classed as?
Number one.
Number one copper.
Number one copper.
So this is?
Number two copper.
Number two copper, that's right. This box here?
Is brass?
Okay, so this is what we call yellow brass, right?
Yellow brass, okay, beautiful.
Okay, and this box here?
I don't know the end.
C metal.
C metal.
Yeah,
C metal.
It's C metal, right?
C metal.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so then we're gonna come over here. Okay, so those are the main grades that we sort here with the shear. So that's why we have the boxes right there. Okay, so
Gotcha.
This pile here is just stuff that's been bought the way it is, whether it was bought as a dirty brass, a copper and brass mix. Number two, it's kind of just a mix, and we're gonna shear it. Okay. So first things first, safety. So you gotta put your shield down.
Gotta put it down.
Because when you're cutting certain grades of brass, they pop and they explode. So they'll hit you in the face, and you want to make sure you're protected.
You gotta be safe, right?
Okay, so I'll just get you to stand over here.
Okay.
And then we're gonna turn this thing on here. Okay, so it runs by a foot pedal. Okay, so that's the foot pedal here. You push it down, and the blade will go down.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so as long as you hold it down, it's gonna stay down. You lift the blade, you lift it up, it comes up. Right?
Oh, so that's
hydraulic
cool.
shear, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's a hydraulic.
That's right. So we'll start off with this here, okay? So as you can see, this is copper, but it's got all this paint on it, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to cut this. We're just going to throw that right in number two. But this piece here is brass. This little elbow. Okay. So that's a piece of C metal. So that has to come off because you can't mix brass and copper.
Right.
Okay, so that's where we'll just cut it. So we're just going to line it up here, and we're just going to cut that off. Okay? Yep. So then you got your brass, and then you got your copper. So this is all covered in paint, so it's just number two.
Number two.
Right? And then there's your piece of C metal, right into the C metal box, right?
Beautiful.
So then we got another piece here. So as you can see, brass and brass, okay? So a lot of guys will just cut it and let it fall into the bucket and sort it later. Once you get familiar with the machine, you can catch it, okay? You just got to always make sure that your hand is nowhere near you, because this thing, it'll take it away. Whatever's in there is gone, right? Yeah, so you got to be careful. So there you go. You just cut it.
Goes through it so quick.
That's right. Change the blades every couple months, no big deal. There's another piece number two, right? Okay.
Beautiful.
So then here we got some brass. Okay, so this came in. This is what's called red brass. Okay, but this is steel.
Oh.
So that has to get cut off because you can't have steel and brass.
No.
So this you just cover, just like that.
Oh.
And then now that's clean.
That's so cool.
Right? Here's another piece. So it's all clean. There's no steel on it, just this lid.
So is this steel or no?
Nope, that's brass. The only thing steel, well, this is actually zinc, is the handle. Okay? So you just, simple as that.
So cool.
Cut that right off, and then now you got clean brass.
Wow.
Right? So then, you want to give her a try? Just set it down there, just like that. Hold it on this end like that, right? You don't even have to hold it. Just set it there like that and push that pedal down.
Whoa!
Okay, there you go. So then grab your piece, and then you got clean C metal or red brass.
Okay.
Right? In the box, okay?
So red brass is the same as the C metal?
No, red brass is worth a little more than C metal, but we don't get a lot of it.
Okay.
So we just mix it together.
Okay,
because if someone comes in and they have like 400 or 500 pounds of red brass, yes, we're going to keep it separate.
Okay.
But for the run-of-the-mill stuff, it's easier to just throw it in one box and get rid of it because we don't get a lot.
That makes sense.
Now, you do get a lot of stuff that's very finicky. Kind of look for a piece here to show you. Like something like this. Like, okay, this is all brass. Okay, you got some steel here. You got these handles here that are steel. So some of this stuff, like I said, it gets finicky to cut.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of work at what you're doing. So this here, the easiest way to get this chunk of steel off would be to just cut a little bit of the brass off.
Oh, okay.
So red brass is like it's a lot like a cookie, like it'll just crumble. Like, you know when you break a cookie and it breaks apart everywhere, it's all over your, it gets all over the couch everywhere. Yeah, exactly. So that's what this is kind of like. So if I cut into that, you'll see how it'll just crumble apart.
Oh wow, right?
See, there's still the plastic and stuff in there, right? So rather than try and nitpick and try to get that plastic out, I'm just going to cut that brass right off.
Yeah, it just really does crumble everywhere.
Still a little bit left in there, just kind of pinch it. Just work at it, get the plastic. Okay? Once you have all the plastic out, you're going to work on the next part. Okay? So the blade's going to come down and hit this. So what I would do is I would turn this like that.
Right.
And then you can set that right in there. But again, see how it's bending it? It's all finicky. So if I put it on the end, when you're cutting on the end, you want to be ready because sometimes it'll pop it out at you, right?
Right. Okay.
So you just want to hold it. You want to have a good grip on it. Cut it off like that, right? So again, I'm going to turn this. I'm going to put that in there like that. Cut that out. See that? Now it's all clean. Okay, so there you go. Clean seal.
So interesting.
Yeah, so we'll do one more here. Here you got some stainless tubing, piece of brass on the end. You got copper, brass. So shearing, the first thing you want to do is get rid of the hard stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that handle. Cut that handle off. Then I'm going to cut this brass off like that.
Alright, just cut this.
Yep. Sometimes it'll bend it. Softer copper has a little bit of tough time cutting, just bend it off. There's your clean brass. Okay, now you're left with some copper and some brass. Okay, so I'm going to cut this copper off here from the brass. Okay, number 2 copper. And then you're left with this, a little bit of stainless and some brass. So what I would do is I would just cut this brass off here. And then we can just throw that out.
This thing just works so fast, right?
It does, it's great. So it's a really useful tool in the scrap industry. Every scrapyard has one.
Oh really?
And the ones that don't, if they're handling a lot of volume, they're not doing it efficiently, because I mean you can either do it with a hand saw or a cut-off saw. And we've been there before, but once you have one of these, you'll never look back at you know, a pile like this. Say this pile and that hopper over there, a guy will have done in, you know, an hour and a half.
That's insane.
And then it's clean. You gotta remember, this stuff is getting bought cheap, right?
Okay,
so
yeah,
we're maximize our dollar. We cut it, we separate it, making money.
That's so smart.
So that about does it up here for the hydraulic shear. Maybe next time we can look at some grades of wire. We can look at some copper. We can look at electronic waste if you want. What do you say we look at electronic waste?
Electronic waste, beautiful. Let's do that. Thank you.